Hello children. Today we are going to have an explanation of the poem An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum by Stephen Spender. As you have already got the outline of the poem, you must be remembering that this poem has concentrated on the themes of social injustice and class inequality. Through the example of slum children, the poet has tried to attack on those who are exploiting the weaker sections of the society. We would start with the para-wise explanation of the poem. So I read it for you, the first paragraph. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor, the tall girl with her weighed down head, the paper-seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stunted, unlucky hire of twisted bones, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lessons from his desk. At back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young. His eyes live in a dream of squirrels' games in a tree room other than this. This poem has basically described the life of the slum children and the education that they are getting. First of all, this first paragraph has explained how the children look, their appearance. Right from the first line till the end of this paragraph, the poet has described how do the children look, all those children who are sitting in that elementary school classroom. First of all, an elementary school. What is an elementary school? If you know it well, the government has made it compulsory for all the children, regardless of whichever community they belong to, I mean to say whichever background they come from, whether they are from the lower classes or they are from the upper classes, whichever the class they come from, they are supposed to get the elementary school education. Elementary education is compulsory for all and all should receive it. Keeping in mind this, even in the slums, there are such schools opened. Now the children who come to these schools, how do they look? So coming to the poem again. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces. Here the poet describes the pathetic and miserable condition of the children sitting in the classroom in a slum. It is said, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor. It is said that their hair, it looks like the weeds which are rootless. That means the hair has become colorless. It has no color. And then it is said that there is another child who is a girl. She is tall. The tall girl with her head, with her weighed down head. Her head is weighed down. Maybe because she is malnutrition, she cannot sit straight. She is having some or the other disease maybe. Therefore she is not sitting erect. She is bending and sitting down. Therefore it is said a tall girl with her weighed down head. And then there is another child who is a boy, and it is said the paper-seeming boy. A paper-seeming boy means a boy who is as thin as paper and his eyes look like the rat's eyes. I had given you all the list of figures of speeches that are used in this poem. Here the paper-seeming boy and the rat eyes, all these words are used for these children to compare them with either paper or with rats, eyes with rats. These are all examples of metaphors where the children are directly compared to either paper or their eyes to the rats. So thin the child is that he looks like that. The stunted, unlucky hire of twisted bones. Now here this is another child in the classroom who is having a disease of bones. And this child, it is as it is said, reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lessons from his desk. He's having twisted bones, and he is believed to be to get this disease from his father. Therefore it is said he is the hire of his father. And what has he got as a hire of his father? He's got this disease from his father. So he has this disease of twisted bones, in which the bones become thick, the joints become thick, and then it is said that he is reciting his lessons from his desk. There is another one who is here. At the back of the dim class, one unnoted sweet young. There is another unnoted child sitting at the back of the class, and in his eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in the tree room other than this. So he is not concentrating in the classroom. Actually, all concentration is outside from the window. Far you can see a tree. There are some squirrels playing over there. So his concentration is there. So all these children who sit in the classroom in the elementary school, they've come there for their education, to get education, but what is their condition? They are not physically sound, they are not well fed. So it is doubtful whether they will be able to get, or achieve that education that is provided to them, receive the education that is provided to them, because of their body condition, because being malnutritioned. The second para. On sour cream walls, donations. Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized dome, riding all cities, bellied, flowery Trioles Valley, open-handed map, awarding the world to its world, and yet for these children, these windows, not this map, their world, where all their future painted with fog, a narrow street, sealed in with a lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes and stars of the world, of words, sorry. This stanza is describing the classroom. As I told you, the first stanza was describing the children in the class. Now this stanza describes the classroom. How is the classroom looking? What is the condition of the walls and all? And how does the classroom look? So with the very first line here, on sour cream walls, here it is written that the walls look like they are in the color of the cream which is sour. Maybe you can say some off-white color. The walls have become dirty because they might have been painted when they were made long back, and now the walls have become very dirty and all. Therefore it is said the sour cream walls. Donations, the word donations here refers to the names of all those people who have given donations for the slum school. Therefore their names have been written over here. So it is said that on the walls are displayed the names of the people who have given donations. And then Shakespeare's head. Shakespeare's head here means that there is a picture of Shakespeare on the wall, and the picture of the domes of big cities represent the quality of life in those cities. Now there are here, as it is mentioned in the second line, civilized dome riding all cities. Whatever is the civilization in the big cities and all, how well planned they are, all those pictures are there on the wall of this elementary school. And then the next line is bellied, flowery Trioles Valley. There is another picture of a Trioles Valley. This is a very beautiful valley in Australia, and it is adorned with flowers. Beautiful flowers are there in this valley. But then again, this picture is there in the classroom. And then it is another one, the world map, which divides the world into countries, big and small, symbolically given that the children gives the children the whole world. Now there is a world map over there. And in that world map, children can see how the boundaries are made and how the countries are divided into small and big parts and all. So there is a world map there, there is Shakespeare's picture there is a Trioles Valley's picture over there are the names of the people who have given donations written on the wall. And how does the wall look? Like it is very old now, the classroom looks very old and all now. And then it is said, yet for these children, these windows not the map their world. Actually, for these children, the map is not their world. The actual world for these children is what they can see from the window of the classroom, the slum. That is their real world. It is also said that there is another picture of a cloudless sky in the morning time. But then for these children, they have nothing to do with these pictures. The reality of their life is different. It is said the world depicted on these walls is not the world of these children. The huge domes and the prosperity is not for them. Unfortunately, their world is painted with fog. Therefore, it is mentioned over here that where all their future painted with fog. This is where what they can see from the window. They can see only the slum. They cannot see any prosperity. Therefore, it is said that their world is painted with fog. And with the fog is of hopelessness, the fog is of hunger. And then their future, which is uncertain. Their sky is dull and dark, which is sealed inside these slums. The poet has again given that again said that the world is very far from them. The real world that the maps show is not the world of the children, and then for them that world which is shown in the map is just like the stars in the sky, very far from these children, which they cannot touch. For them, it is only an imagination, a dream. But the reality is the slum, which is all foggy, the future unclear. This is what we get from the second paragraph. Para 3. Surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal, for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes, from fog to endless night. On their slag heap, these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass like bottle bits on stone. All of their time and space are foggy slum. So blot their map with slums as big as doom. So coming to this paragraph, in this paragraph the poet is telling that all that is there in the classroom is useless for the children because their reality is far from what is shown in these pictures. It is said that the poet has called the picture of the picture of Shakespeare wicked because it is meaningless for the children. The children, the kind of education that they are getting, they will never get a chance to read Shakespeare and the quality work that he has written. Therefore, Shakespeare is wicked for them. Shakespeare is of no use for them. And then, the map is a very bad example for them because they will never ever be able to see this big world. The only thing that happens with that is what they see in that picture. They see the ship and the sun and so many more things, which is only leading them to their feeling of getting those things. They desire to get those things, and to get those things, do they have an option except of stealing? So these things are only tempting these children to become thieves and robbers and steal things, because otherwise the kind of education they are getting over there, the kind of lives they are living over there, seeing all these pictures, they cannot get all these things. If they get any kind of temptation, they would only go to steal so that they get out of all this slum and get all those things that they see there in the pictures. It is then said that there is no world beyond their poverty, hunger and hopelessness. So, these maps are unreal for these children. The beautiful world with its offering like the sun, ship, love, care only tempt them to steal because they cannot have all those worldly things. Their lives are only in these cramped holes where they live. They live in a state of gloom, hunger and despair. It is said that their bodies look like garbage heaps. Here in this paragraph it is mentioned that on their slag heaps, here slag stands for garbage heaps, these children wear skins. It is as if they have only bones over which they have which is covered with skin, and their bones are peeping through the skins. And the biggest thing that is mentioned over here is that their condition is so bad, which can be understood with what they wear, the clothes that they wear, and also their glasses. You can see the glasses they are wearing, they are all broken like bottle bits. Those they are repairing and wearing it. They can't even get a proper medical treatment also, and therefore it is said all of their life is being destroyed here in the slum. The slum is like a blot as big as a doom on the map of these children. So their lives are all in despair, all in vain, and their lives have no hope living in that slum. Unhappy children in the unhappy slum where they don't know whether ever they will be able to come out of this place or not, whether a quality education they will be provided or not, and whether they have a chance to live the kind of life which is displayed in the classroom through all those pictures and posters that are placed in the classroom. Para 4. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs break. Oh, break open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open, history theirs whose language is sung. So the first paragraph explained to you how did the children going to the slum children look, some slum school look. The other paragraph was the classroom, how the classroom was. The third paragraph was about whatever the classroom had, whether it was useful for the children or not. And the last paragraph, the fourth paragraph, is talking about the poet's hope. The poet has a hope, as in what can be done to upgrade the condition of these children. So he says that unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs break. So he says here that unless these children are not visited by any government official, any governor, any inspector, any educationist who visits these slum schools and who has a desire to uplift these children, they must come forward, they must visit these children, and only then these windows from where they can see the slum will actually turn into the windows from where they can see the real world and they can live a better life. It is said that the poet wants the civilized world to bridge the gap between them and the world of these children. The children should be offered a glimpse of a better world so that the map becomes their window. The map, which is useless to them, should actually become their window. And the beautiful, charming world outside should accept these children. It is said that the windows of the elementary school should not confine their hopes, should not capture their hopes there. Let the children be free, let the windows break and their hopes be fulfilled, their desires be fulfilled. It is said that, oh, break open till they break the town and show the children to green fields and make their world. Make the children, help the children to come to the green fields out of the slum and make their own worlds, so that they can also be allowed to run freely on the golden sand and under the clear sky. That means so that they can make progress. And then it is said that they should also be allowed to have a quality education, because the poet feels that the education can help them immensely, because according to him, history is written by those whose language has the warmth and energy of the sun. As mentioned in the last line, history theirs whose language is sun. Only they can write history whose language is sun, who can mentally feel the freedom and is properly educated. Therefore, let these children come out of their slum, let them have a better life, let them lead a better life so that they can also live happily like any one of us living on this earth. Let them not be confined in the slum, because they too have the right to live a happy life out of the slum and a better life as compared to the life they are living right now. So, only opening elementary schools in these small slums will not work. What actually is going to work is an effort that people out of the slum try to bridge this gap between them and the children in the slum, so that the children can come out and learn and grow in a better manner. So the elementary school in a slum, through this poet Stephen Spender, gives us the message that we need to see to it that there are no weaker sections in the society. Everyone is treated with equality, and especially the children staying there in the slum are given proper education. Not simply opening a school with 4 walls, a classroom with 4 walls, but actually a classroom of knowledge. Thank you.